It's not just Myles Garrett trade rumors that are here. Cooper Kupp trade rumors are here for the NFL and the LA Rams after Kupp revealed that the Rams are going to try to trade him. So we're going to break down what teams I think could be interested. I'll go 10, just like we did for the Myles Garrett trade destinations on Monday. That video is available on the channel. Will be in the comments and the description of today's show. For more trade updates all off-season long and just general NFL coverage, you've come to the right spot. Hit that sub button right now, youtube.com/chatsportstv. I'm part of a lengthy post on social media. Cooper Kupp said this: I was informed the team, the Rams, will be seeking a trade immediately and will be working with me and my family to find the right place to continue competing for a championship. I don't agree with the decision, and always was going to be begin and end in L.A. Sometimes you don't get what you want, and that's what Cooper Kupp is staring down the barrel of here with the L.A. Rams. He has missed time each of the past 3 years. He has not been the same guy that was the best receiver in football in 2021. Age, injuries, all of those things have kind of caught up to Cooper Kupp. And most potentially impactful, as it relates to the contract, or to the trade at least, is the contract. Rams don't want to pay him nearly $30 million. Don't blame them for that. That makes sense. They could save $7.52 right now by cutting him and not making it a post-June 1st cut. If they were to make it a post-June 1st release, they save $15 million. They save $12.52 if they trade him. The issue is the new team that would take on Cooper Kupp's deal would owe him $20 million this year. $20 million. That comes in the form of a $12.5 million base salary and a $7.5 million roster bonus. Now, $5 million of that roster bonus is currently guaranteed, hence a big difference in the release trade savings there for the Rams. So LA, if they want to really move Cooper Kupp, might need to eat at least some of that roster bonus, because $12.5 million for Kupp is a lot more palatable for many teams than $20 million. It still might be too much for several NFL teams. And if the Rams don't want to eat that money, then a release could happen. Early reporting sounds like they're open to it. I think that would be a shrewd move by LA to get something back in a trade. But they also would reach the point of, okay, we could save the 15 with the post-June 1st cut. We could save, let's say it's 12-ish with a trade. At one point, and maybe it's not the 12, maybe it's more like 9. Maybe it's 8. Maybe it's just the 7 you get via a cut right now, as opposed to a post-June 1st. At what point does whatever draft pick you get outweigh the potential salary cap savings? So regardless, does not sound like Kupp will be back in LA, at least with the Rams. With that in mind, where will Cooper Kupp play in 2025? It is the pinned comment on today's show, so if the ad comes here on YouTube, take advantage of it. Head down there and let me know. We'll break down now some top Cooper Kupp trade destinations. We'll go from 10 to 1, mentioning teams that have been heavily linked, rumored, high odds, whatever, in what I think is least likely to most likely. At number 10, the Dallas Cowboys. You know they get linked to every single player that becomes available, even though they almost never get them. The Cowboys are in the market for a number 2 wide receiver. And I do think in a release scenario, this might make a little bit more sense, or if for some reason Kupp wants to take a discount, which seems unlikely. I'll make note of the projected cap space for all 10 teams we discuss. A lot of those numbers are not how it'll actually be. When the Cowboys restructure Dak and Lamb, that's going to free up over $50 million in an instant. So around $50 million instantaneous. They'll be fine. But do they want to spend anywhere between $12 to $20 million on a number 2 receiver and give up a draft pick? I don't know. Number 9 is the Bengals, and they've been linked a lot to Cooper Kupp, which I find interesting because Kupp is not the same player he was in his prime, and simply put, I would rather just pay T. Higgins. T. Higgins is better, also has injury issues, but we know works with Joe Burrow. I think that probably is a more feasible path and a more logical path for the Bengals, who aren't exactly big traders anyway. In the event they lose T. Higgins or plan to lose T. Higgins, maybe Kupp makes some more sense, but I just would keep the really good, better, younger player. Today's show is made possible by Game Time. Game Time is the place for tickets to your next event. They got a new feature. It's called Game Time Picks. It makes getting tickets for events even easier. Game Time Picks filters out the fluff to show you only incredible deals on great seats, so you don't have to waste time searching through thousands of tickets to find the best value. It's curation to help you get more bang for your buck. Keep an eye out for the super deal. It is the best deal on any given event, by the way. Help maximize your value. The all-in pricing feature shows your total cost up front with no surprise fees at checkout. And the game time guarantee is this. You find tickets in the same section and row for less. Game Time will credit you 110% of the difference. So go download the Game Time app today over at gametime.co. Create your account. Use code CHATSPORTS for $20 off your first purchase. Now, terms do apply. But again, create your account. Redeem code CHATSPORTS, ChatSports, for $20 off your first purchase. Download Game Time today for last-minute tickets, the lowest price, all guaranteed. Number 8, the Las Vegas Raiders. They are in the wide receiver market. They could use a true replacement for Devontae Adams. Kupp is not prime Adams anymore, but he certainly helps you replace him in the end. My big question here is, despite massive amounts of salary cap space, $92 million, do the Raiders view themselves as buyers? You could have made a better argument if they were, picking number 1, number 2, they draft a QB, get a good, reliable veteran, help that young QB grow. I don't know what their quarterback plans are yet. I don't think they know what their QB plans are yet. Number 7, the Washington Commanders. Now, outside of Terry McLaurin, a truly better, reliable number 2 than the rotation they used this year does intrigue me. Issue for the Commanders. They are light on draft picks as part of the Marshawn Lattimore trade, but they can easily absorb Cooper Kupp in a trade. So maybe a trade swap, pick swap in some capacity, could start to make sense for the Commanders there. They're going to a lot of mercenary-type veterans, guys that are available because they have cap space. They're not paying the quarterback anything really right now, and they're coming off a conference championship game berth. Number 8, the Denver Broncos, or number 6, the Denver Broncos. Apparently I can't do math or words properly there. I think outside of Courtland Sutton, some viable questions as to how good, reliable this wide receiving core actually is. I think they need to figure that out. I think Sean Payton, with the way he's able to design offenses, would be able to have a good amount of fun and maximize Cooper Kupp in the same way the Rams were clearly able to under Sean McVay. Cap space, around 35, not an impediment necessarily to making anything happen out in Denver. So Denver comes in at number 6. The Patriots come in at number 5. This kind of fits a similar vein of like the Raiders. Like, you have a young franchise QB. You have Drake May in the fold. You must support him. And I don't know if Kupp's a true number 1 anymore, but I do think as a lead receiver with other young guys around him, I think that could work in a receiving core. And money is zero object. $120 million. If the Patriots don't want to run the ball with Mike Vrabel, then Kupp's blocking comes into play as an asset as well. So do you believe Cooper Kupp is a number 1 wide receiver? Why for yes and for no? Let me know in the comment section of today's video. Number 4, the Baltimore Ravens. And the Ravens, and again, this is a fun idea. They are close to getting over the hump. They haven't quite been able to do it. I think allowing Kupp to work in the underneath could also maybe benefit Zay Flowers a little bit more and allow him to be used more as a deep threat and let Bateman kind of be the do-everything guy. I think plus his overall play style fits pretty well with the Ravens. Got to figure out the money side, but I'm sure the Rams wouldn't mind sending Kupp to an NFC team. Number 3, the LA Chargers. Cooper Kupp doesn't even have to move. Works well for the helping his family angle that Kupp mentioned. Ladd McConkey, Cooper Kupp are an exciting duo. A lot of usage out of the exciting White's meme gets deployed then. He's a willing blocker that fits very well with what the Chargers want to do on offense. I think both guys can do some inside-out stuff, referring to McConkey and Kupp there. Plenty of cap space for LA. I like that fit quite a bit. Now, what draft pick in a trade do you think Cooper Kupp and his salary is worth? Let me know in the comments section of today's show. Number 2, this one should not be a surprise. It's a receiver, so of course the Pittsburgh Steelers are mentioned in this conversation. They have been linked to every single wide receiver that has come available on the market for the past year-ish. And Kupp is a very different style of wide receiver than George Pickens. Pickens is an outside X jump ball vertical guy. Kupp can do all the dirty work, the middle of the field stuff very well. I think it'd be a good pairing, especially with maybe an uncertain future for George Pickens anyway. Cap space not an issue at all for Pittsburgh. I like these top 3 teams the most as fits. And at number 1, the Houston Texans. Remember, Houston has been trying to add more receiver help with Nico Collins, Tank Dell coming off another bad injury, so receiver is a need with Stephon Diggs, a free agent. The Texans just hired the Rams passing game corner Nick Haley as their new OC. Really a strong fit there. Biggest issue, the Texans have invested a lot of money into the roster as is. They'd have to get creative to free up some more space.